पिछले दिनों में जिस तरीके से अर्बनाइजेशन हुआ है, जिस तरीके से समाज में बदलाव आ रहे हैं, महिलाओं की सुरक्षा का विषय और बिल्कुल केंद्र में आ गया है। निर्भया का जैसे एपिसोड हुआ या बाकी एपिसोड भी अगर आप रोज देखेंगे कहीं ना कहीं होते हैं, कहीं गांव में होते हैं, कहीं शहर में होते हैं। सिर्फ रेप नहीं, महिलाओं के प्रति अत्याचार भी हमारे समाज में काफी है। और मैं समझता हूं कि पूरे समाज में एक सोच उसके प्रति कायम होना बहुत जरूरी है कि किसी समाज कितना विकसित है, कितना सभ्य है, इस बात से मालूम पड़ना चाहिए कि वहां महिलाओं की स्थिति कैसी है। ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हमारी महिलाएं आत्मनिर्भर हों। दो बातें उसमें बहुत महत्वपूर्ण हैं। एक तो उनके लिए अच्छी शिक्षा की व्यवस्था और उनको रोजगार के अवसर, दोनों। और अभी तक हमारे यहाँ बहुत बात हुई है, जैसे आरक्षण की बात आती है, पंचायतों में आरक्षण है, बहुत अच्छी बात है, लेकिन सिर्फ उससे ही वो आत्मनिर्भर बन जाएंगी, उनके पास आर्थिक ताकत आ जाएगी, ऐसा नहीं है। मुझे लगता है कि शिक्षा और उनको समर्थ बनाना ताकि वो अपने पैरों पर खड़ी हो सकें और सही निर्णय ले सकें, अपने बारे में स्वतंत्रतापूर्ण निर्णय ले सकें, वो बाद में आता है। क्या पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज में रिजर्वेशन है? क्या पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज उतना रिप्रेजेंटेशन देती है? जो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज बहुत लंबा जोर जोर से नारे लगाती हैं उसके बारे में, क्या उनकी जो शीर्ष संस्थाएं हैं वहां पर महिलाएं हैं? तो मुझे लगता है कि लिप सर्विस ज्यादा है। ये जो आरक्षण की बात कह के और आरक्षण के सवाल को लटकाते रहना लगाता है, ये सिर्फ कहने की बात है और इससे कुछ नहीं होना जाना है। लेकिन अगर सही तौर से अगर आप देखें तो कांग्रेस वर्किंग कमेटी हो, भाजपा की कार्य समिति हो, सीपीएम की पोलित ब्यूरो हो, सीपीआई की पोलित ब्यूरो हो, सेंट्रल कमेटी हो, क्या वहां पर महिलाओं का प्रतिनिधित्व है? और अगर आप अपने अंदर महिलाओं का प्रतिनिधित्व नहीं ला सकते तो बाहर जाके ये मांग करना, मुझे लगता है कि बहुत ही शैलो बात है। ये सिर्फ नारेबाजी की बात है, इससे कोई भला नहीं होगा। अब पंचायतों में जैसे रिजर्वेशन किया, उसका थोड़ा देख लीजिए आप क्या स्थिति है। पिछले दिनों प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा कि ये सरपंच पति, आपको देखा अगर उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर आप जाएं, बिहार के अंदर जाएं तो बाहर लिखा होगा सरपंच पति, यानी सरपंच कोई है लेकिन ताकत किसी और के पास है। ये तो सिर्फ आरक्षण से कोई समस्या का समाधान होगा ऐसा लगता नहीं है। उनको ताकत देने की आवश्यकता है, लेकिन जितनी महिलाएं आगे आती हैं वो अपनी सामर्थ्य, क्षमता, शक्ति इससे आती है, बल्कि उन्हें कुछ ज्यादा शो करना पड़ता है तब आगे आती है। हम चाहे न चाहें, ये एक पुरुष प्रधान समाज है, मेल डोमिनेटेड सोसाइटी है। उसमें महिलाएं, क्योंकि मैं जिस फील्ड में हूं पत्रकारिता में, ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में, वहां महिलाएं बहुत ठीक संख्या में हैं, लेकिन मैं देखता हूं कि उनको अपने को प्रूव करने के लिए कहीं ज्यादा काम करना पड़ता है। तो आपका जो सवाल था कि क्या ह्यूमैनिटी से अलग हो जाएं, लेकिन ह्यूमैनिटी की बात हो, ठीक है, एक आदर्श के तौर पर सीधे ये बात होनी चाहिए कि भाई अपनी योग्यता, क्षमता के अनुसार ही चाहे वो पुरुष हो या महिलाएं वो आगे आए। लेकिन मैं आपसे दूसरी बात कहना चाहता हूं कि महिलाओं को आगे आने के लिए कहीं ज्यादा दिखाना पड़ता है तब भी आ पाती हैं। तो इसलिए उनमें जो आगे आई हैं उनमें कहीं अधिक क्षमता है, ताकत है और योग्यता भी। Women Economic Forum means an instrument or a forum where women entrepreneurs, women could come and get more powerful, more economic independence.
The one moment I can recall immediately would be actually my daughter's birth.
A platform created by all to support women primarily from different walks of life. It opens up opportunities and provides a base to connect with like-minded people around the world.
I entered the Indian Police Service at 21 and a half. I came from a very strong sports background, but a family which was very authentic in its living. Very focused, valued time, had value systems intact, never greedy, enough to live quality life, it was never aspiring for anything more. It was looking for academic, sports, creativity and a personally disciplined life. Not ascetic life, but something which was the correct way of living. That's what I came from. Sports was my background, academics was my background, also serving the country was also my background. My father and mother used to inspire me to grow up, be all girls. They were never talking about marriage with us. They were always talking about education and personal sense of achievement. So nationalism was very strong in every time I would sing national anthem, there would be tears in my eyes, there would be goose pimples. Business was not money and business was not in my head. My father came from a landed property, he had hotels. That was not in my, what was in is, what can I do for my country? How can I serve the nation? And since I was academically and sports, very good background, I qualified for the All India Civil Services and the Indian Police Service became my first preference over central services. I walked into the service, what I was actually prepared for. Because I loved sense of justice as a sports girl, had very good hard work and stamina, right? For you, it may be appearing, how did I make it as a woman? For me, it was natural. Because I had already led a life of very, very careful time management, joyfully disciplined, hard work, justice, fair play, traveling around the country. I had no superiority or inferiority complex. I treated myself as equal. I believed in merit. So I walked into the service. It was a shock or a surprise for the world, not for me, not for my family. I married at the age of, after I joined the service, as I joined the service. I married a tennis friend who also believed, who also respected whatever were my decisions. So this is how life began. It was ahead of its time. My joining the Indian Police Service, the manner in which we were brought up, the way the family rallied around, it was ahead of its time. That's why it put me ahead of its time. So if hard work is difficult, others not understanding is difficult or is just a challenge, it was for others, not for me. I delivered with integrity. My value system was honesty and being fair and being sensitive, compassion. So I was entering the police service as a strong human being. I think a stage in life when you learn to live with yourself, you rise above. You rise above these kinds of accolades. People recognize or not, doesn't matter whether you recognize yourself. Vidya Balan was exactly repeating herself. How she developed her own self-belief and overcame her own doubts, even areas of doubts. And that's how she emerged. And that is what she says, it set her free. I also set myself free long ago. Because for me, when the promotion comes, where the posting goes, who thinks what, I had risen above that. Because I always focused on what am I here for and what must I do so that the purpose is met and that I deliver. I don't cheat myself. I don't be dishonest to myself. Before I'm honest to you, I have to be honest to myself.
Dr. Harbingers Arora, a thought leader as well as VC Gujarat Rai University and Global Chairperson ALL, wants the Women Economic Forum to become a strong support system and platform for upcoming women entrepreneurs and professionals. She envisions seamless economic growth and transactions in every domain. She said, My thoughts are not limited to India only. It is holistic and worldwide, a seamless world of economic growth.
Increasingly, more women are getting into the area of entrepreneurship. See, the young startup system is a system which is actually a level playing field, whether it is men or whether it is women. Okay. Unlike when you start looking at other areas and you say, oh, there is no opportunity available. Here it is, anybody with a great idea, anybody with the capabilities of developing that into a product can actually convert that into a business reality. So, this really lets, whether it is men or women, it provides them with equal opportunity. We would definitely like more and more women entrepreneurs to come up and realize their dreams.
Over 400 people from 23 different countries came together for the same vision, same goal, a unified world of economic development for women.
Women hold 50% of the sky, Mao ने कहा था. तो 50% of the sky जो hold कर रही हो पूरी एक समूह, तो उसके लिए कोई फोरम हो, ग्लोबल लेवल का हो और वो भारत में आयोजित हो रहा हो, इससे अच्छा तो सुनने में अच्छा लगता है.
Lots of very powerful, dynamic women who are not really put on the pedestal or don't get an opportunity to be shown to the world as to what our success stories are. A forum like this is very unique because it's very international in nature. This is the first conference in India that I've visited or attended or spoken at where over 300 delegates are from all over the world. And these are people who are really genuinely interested in doing business with India, business with women in India, and knowing more about the entrepreneurs that are there in India as a whole.
The Women Economic Forum reflects diversity, but with a unified goal for a better world.
Last few years, you've seen, incidences of agitation by young people when they come on streets and talk about the gang rapes that have happened, of the atrocities that we've seen against women. And the people who are doing it are boys and young men, which to my mind is a positive thing, because if young men and young adults are thinking this way, it goes to show that in their lives they will do something positive to stop these things from happening. It won't happen overnight. They're a very large country and we'll still have some instances of atrocities against women. But things such as acid attack, female infanticide, dowry, all these things are a stigma in our society, and increasingly you are seeing a lot of government plus non-government institutions taking them on. We've had some successes, but it can't just be the job of a government. It has to be society plus the government working together to make this a reality.
140 speakers, business leaders, entrepreneurs, corporate coaches, political leaders, media personalities, authors, filmmakers and intellectuals came together at the Women Economic Forum to debate, discuss and amalgamate the thought.
I've been born and brought up in Nagpur. We are two siblings, my brother and I. My parents have always inculcated in us a feeling that we both were equals and we both got equal opportunities everywhere. And since childhood we were into sports, which taught us sportsman spirit. We were very good into studies, both my brother and I. And subsequently, since we were hammered that we should be independent, I joined this job wherein I'm continuing till now. Even after marriage, my husband has been supportive that I should always continue working and have my own identity. So it has been a journey full of professional achievements and personal satisfaction.
As a people of Pakistan, I feel that we should not stop blaming the governments and all this, because I feel India has done it. That's my reading about India, that India is not relying on the government. The youth has come up, they're doing their own things, and they are not just, they know he's the Prime Minister and he's the governor and he's the district manager, but they have put their own efforts into their country. They have made their country themselves. I'm going to take this message for my people of Pakistan कि अब लोगों को blame करना छोड़ें और अपने दम पे कुछ इस मुल्क के लिए करें.
The women themselves need to change, and that's what I feel, that I don't see the difference between man and woman. We are all human beings. Men go through as much difficulties in setting up their businesses as women go through. I don't think that there is any difference. In fact, I would say that some places women have an advantage because they are a woman. I think their glamour or their personality, they can get a lot more than what men can actually get. So it's not like that. I mean, I don't want any sympathy at all. In my whole journey, I've fought throughout myself. I never expected that my husband should come and fight the battle for me or my father should come and fight the battle for me. I fought it myself and I did what I wanted to do, and still I'm doing what I want to do. Whatever I've dreamt, I realize that dream. And I do believe in destiny, but I have to make my destiny. I don't sit back and say that, oh well, wait and watch. Maybe if you're lucky, your Goa property will come up. Oh no, I don't believe in that. When I dreamt that I'm going to have my second hotel in Goa, it was a dream. And I have worked to achieve that dream.
Experiences are all we will take, and walking through collectively will lead us to togetherness in motion.
Thought is when your subconscious gets translated into something which is very conscious, which then translates to ideas, and then ideas become actions. And that's how quality of life changes.
I've had a lot of different things and trials, tribulations that have happened. Recently I moved, the guy who was moving me had a heart attack and died on my floor. And I had to pump and try and save his life, and he just wouldn't come back. But I didn't look at it as a worse thing. I looked at it as maybe it was just a sign that I really need to appreciate the life that I have and the things that I have. And it could easily have been me. So I don't always look at things on the negative, no matter how bad it is, because you only live once. And as long as you're breathing and you're healthy and you're moving and you're positive, you should be grateful.
It is a huge honor to kind of suddenly validate all your struggles with an award, and that comes from me totally out of the blue, and totally as the universe's validation saying, we have been watching, or we have been seeing it, or this is our way to kind of say, this is a recognition. And trust me, when you do that for me, you do that for the other women who are also, struggling on their own as well, and maybe not so much out in the open socially, not so much, with these voices that that I bring to the fore. Probably they all have voices, but they're all, still struggling to find a voice. So it also validates them. It also validates a whole lot of single mothers who are also working to support their children. And I have met, once I shared my story, I met so many single mothers here who kind of just came up to me and said, we completely know your story. And we are so kind of, grateful that you're out here. And you spoke in a way, you spoke for us as well. And that is extremely, encouraging for me. And it just empowers you even more to kind of say, my God, that there's so much still more to do, and a forum like this just provides a platform to kind of meet other women from all over the world who have so many of their own stories to also share, and that probably kind of builds the entire network of connecting with other women, because when you connect with one woman, you connect with her entire society, her entire community that she represents or comes from. And the entire learnings from there, become part of your learnings that, you also are absorbing and learning. So for me, it's huge. Like I said, I'm a sponge. I'm just being asked to, just soak me all over the place.
Whether one of the first lady pilots of the country or the first image scientist of the world, whether a dancing diva or culinary expert, whether a singing star or a beauty expert, a social worker or a corporate honcho, whether a housewife or a policy maker, whether an intellectual or a leader, all wins the heart and changes the mindset towards the realization of a dream.
I started, it doesn't feel so long, but I've been working 30 years now. and straight out of management school, I joined another IT company. So the entire 30 years have been in IT and consulting, and I switched first between two Indian companies and then joined Capgemini in 2000 and was part of the core team that set up the capability in India.
When I even saw the prospect, fantastic, knowledgeable, for me, unique, interactive, and at the end of it, I would say self-fulfilling.
For the Women's Economic Forum?
Yeah.
Well, what comes into my mind right now, after 3 days of being around some of the most powerful women in the world, is that it's a gift from God that I'll always cherish. It's unbelievable to be able to be sitting next to a Pakistani woman and an Indian woman and someone from Morocco, and we're all talking and sharing our stories, and to realize that we all have the same challenges, we have the same dreams, and that me, being from the US, have so much more opportunity, and I feel so much more flexibility and freedom, freedom to do what I want, and that it inspires me to want to help and to educate. Yesterday we did a class called The Great Debate, Can Women Have It All? And at the end of the debate, we changed the question from Can Women Have It All? Which is a difficult question, because what is it and what is all? And I know it goes with the theme of All Ladies League, but the panel that I was hosting, we had 2 for and 2 against, and we changed the question to how can women just be? And just be. And it's okay to just be who you are, and not always be trying to change to be like a man or try to be like somebody else. That if you really live in your authentic self and with your own true purpose, that you can change the world. And so being here at the Women's Economic Forum is a platform for sharing that message, and also for encouraging others to have that same confidence that they really can do what they want, and they can just be complete in what they want. And I know a lot of people are in careers that they don't love, and my whole life I have always loved my careers. I've always loved it, and as I said, the one that I dreamed about my whole life, and as soon as I got there, said this isn't for me, I left, because I couldn't live around people that were negative. So being here at the Women's Economic Forum in India is a dream, because there's so many people that do want to live their purpose, and they live at a higher conscious level, and the frequency and the energy of everybody here is at such a different level. I don't think I'll ever see it again, except maybe next year when I come to the Women's Economic Forum.
Reality and realization of a dream, a need of the moment, a call for the future. Neither for less we should settle. We should raise our bars. We should extend our hand for a bigger, better and beautiful world.
If we have belief in ourselves, and if we think that we can do it, we can bring about a change. There is nothing which a woman can't do if she wants to do.
I'm going to take back a lot of things. I'm going to take back, to start with, new knowledge, perhaps even slightly new way of doing things, even a new way of thinking and of looking at the world. And also I'm going to take back new networks, new friends. I'm going to take back beautiful memories of India. India is a beautiful country, although this is the 3rd time I have been here, but it's still a very beautiful country, beautiful people like yourself, beautiful clothes that I'm wearing as well, beautiful food, beautiful scenery, a very beautiful and very strong culture. And yeah, those are some of the things that I'm going to take back with me.
All Ladies League is a global ecosystem to nurture and empower women leaders. It's a catalyst for change, and it's a crucible for women leaders of tomorrow. It's a place to exchange ideas, and it's a place to make things happen.
To tell you, I'm one of the very few general managers in the industry who are heading a hotel and have been doing so for the past couple of years without having a degree in hotel management. So I come from a completely non-hotel management background. That itself was quite a challenge to, when I entered the industry, that yes, you did not qualify for you didn't study the subject, you did not have the know-how and you got into a job which I thought probably was something that I could manage. I came from a mass communication background, and you would know, being a journalist and being in theatre and art and a filmmaker yourself, that that's a completely different field. So when I entered hotel, I found it, it's like a city. And doing any section or any job is like working in one part of, it was not administration, it was not production, it was not in sections, it was more than I could ever imagine what it would take me to get into this role. Yes, there are too many stories when you start working for an organization which you don't have expertise in, you have not studied the content, and you've not studied the subject. I remember one such instance where I come from a forces background, and for us, somebody has said something and that's a gospel truth, because we have no reason to disbelieve anybody. We just, this is how it is, we see black or white, and there was no introduction or an engagement with the gray areas of life. So a guest walks up to me. I was just about a year and a half in my career, managing the club floor of one of the biggest 5-star in a metropolitan city, and about 10:30 or so the guest walks in. Obviously he had his good time at the bar. He really was absolutely in high spirits, naturally, and he had a flight to take next day. He gave me a time for a wake-up call, all in good reasoning and good senses and good conduct. I obviously took the request for a wake-up call, and he got the wake-up call the time he suggested and mentioned to me. And la behold, he missed the flight. I said, what happened? There were frantic calls because I finished the night shift, and I woke up to so many numerous calls. What happened? Why did you not give a wake-up call? Right time not taken. I said, is anybody going to ask me what I'm going through? Because I did my job. I finished my shift. I had all the work done. I had just really no issues. I thought I've done, I've written, I've handed over to the next shift. I informed the concierge, the car was booked, everything was done. If the guest did not wake up, is it my fault? Or maybe physically and we have a process where in case a guest doesn't respond, we go, procedurally you go and physically enter a room with permission, knocking with the security to see if he's all fine in terms of health, etc. So we learned that guest saying that he did not tell you 10 o'clock, his flight was at 6:25, and that's the time wake-up call you gave. So how could he make it to? I said, do you believe him that he said 6:25 is a flight time or a wake-up call? Why would he give me a flight time and I need to imagine what time he would wake up? So these are the kind of things, and your little shoulders, fragile shoulders in the industry took so much of a brunt, and I decided this is not going to work on, but I would not leave just because of an incident, and I have to be prepared every day with such new learnings. I said, okay, from now on there should be a procedure whereby you would have guest endorsement as well, that this is it, sir, just to reconfirm, have your signatures done. I ended up paying that entire trip of guest. This was my first brush with the hospitality as an experience. Of course, being the company that this is early in the career, so being the company that I work for, they did have their ways of compensating, telling me, making me feel comfortable, ensuring that, I don't take it to heart, and it should not deter my spirit to